Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show. Hell, baby, it is officially Friday. We made it through another week of the Joe in office. We're that much closer, I always say it, to Donald Trump being elected the 47th president of the United States. It feels good still. Every morning I wake up and I shit you not, this sounds like I'm joking and I'm not. I'm sitting there making my coffee. Oh, I get to hang out with the Patriots. I'm so excited. It's real, by the way. And I'm still antsy from the election. I'm still like, I don't know when the last time in my life something lasted this long in terms of the dopamine rush of something. Maybe like a vacation. Like, oh, like I'm going on a vacation in like 5-6 months. Even after the vacation, are you still on that high, you know? I don't know. But let's do an old school opener here. Why not? I mean, it's Friday. It's more loosey-goosey style episode. We get to hang out, read the chat more, go over some articles, random news, wild and wacky. Might as well do an old school opener where Joe Biden is still the worst president in American history. He hits a golf ball backwards, falls up a flight of stairs, looks for dead people in the crowd, converses with dead people to the point where he's not just seeing them, he's also hearing and conversing with them, people that have been dead for like 40 years. This dude takes photos with people at events that were never there in the first place. He lies through his teeth. He wanders off. He gets lost. He falls asleep at meetings. I mean, this guy is by far not even close to the worst president in American history. And damn, it's been a while since we've done one of those. But hey, look, we got to throw him out there because we don't have that much longer with Joey in office. Thank God. And I guess he's never really been in office because the guy hasn't done anything. And the things that he has done has just completely destroyed this country. It's mostly these bureaucrats, these employees of the government, which we're going to talk about today, that aren't doing anything. Folks, they're not even going into the office. Wait till we get into that statistic. So there's these people that are running the show. Our government is so bloated and so big that you're basically having the country ran by a bunch of people that were never elected. And it was never supposed to be built that way. It wasn't crafted that way. And we need to do something about it. And luckily, there's Doge, oh Doge, with Elon Musk and Vivek, which hopefully snip, 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 cut, cut, fire, fire, you're fired. God, we should make a shirt, huh? That not just has like Trump in the middle going like, you're fired, but also like Elon and Vivek doing the same thing. You're fired, 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 triple fired. Get out. Leave the stuff. That's government property. We're going to sell it off. Start liquidating all the desks, chairs, laptops. Maybe start handing them, to some people that may be in need of it. I don't know. I mean, think about it, you guys. If you let go a bunch of people, not only are you saving on pensions, right? You're not just saving on the salary, the insurance, the payroll stuff, the taxes on that bad boy. You're saving on, you could close up entire buildings. Now you're saving on the rent, if that's what you want to call it. You're saving on electricity, utilities. You got to also have the maintenance crew that's there cleaning up. I mean, you're saving money left and right. Yeah, how the hell did you get a Doge dog in the chat? Is that one of our things? It is. Ooh, I want to click on it. If you're over at Rumble, why don't I show this? Let me unpin this real quick. Let's pop out the chat like it's a belly button. Here we go. Pat, we have a Doge dog. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Wait, can you see it? There we go. Wait, Doge, 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 Doge. I guess one more reason to head over to Rumble. Head over to Rumble. But I see you guys over there. Again, I got your chat right here. I see you guys. I see you. Well, I guess since we opened up with that, we might as well talk about it here. You got 6% of the federal workforce is working from home. Oh, sorry, only 6% of the federal workforce is working from the office full time. 94% is working from home. Totally read that incorrectly, but it's Friday. It's okay. We're allowed to mess up. And some aren't working at all. Now, I'm curious on how they did it, which is why I want to look at this. But I mean, that statistic is not a national average, if that makes sense. So there's obviously a lot of people that work remotely now because of COVID. I'm not saying COVID is still a thing, but that was kind of a perk that people were kind of looking for. And when COVID was happening, people were hiring a bunch of individuals in different states. Like I'm in California, for a remote job, I could potentially be hired all the way in Florida. And when COVID ended, they were like, okay, everybody has to come back to work. And then there's some employees going, well, you hired me and I'm like across the country. Like I can't come into the office. And sometimes you got to let those people go or keep them on. Well, what it mostly turned into was people kind of looking at it as like almost like a benefit. Like I'm seeking this out. I'm good at my job. So this is what I'm going to be looking for. It's basically an incentive to hire better people at the end of the day. Well, only 6% of federal employees work from an office full time. I'm telling you what, the country is a lot higher number. So this ain't making sense. And when things don't make sense, you got to investigate it. And a third are fully remote. And some aren't actually working when they work from home. So what they're doing, I don't know if you guys heard about this. Like you have your mouse, right? I think it's the Chinese are selling a device that goes on the bottom of your mouse and it will rotate your mouse every so often. So when they're being tracked, the employees are being tracked from home. That's one way they're doing it through their software of seeing how often they're moving. It's supposed to show like, oh, they're actually at work. Look, the mouse is moving. We can track it. We're able to see what they're doing. And then you can look at the numbers. Well, there was a guy that had his own business. And what he did over a weekend was he sat there and constructed an algorithm that mimicked. He bought like 26 of those like bottom pads that go on the bottom of your mouse. And then he tracked all the possible movements that it could do in the times. And he created an algorithm out of it basically to track how many of his employees were using it that were working remotely. And let's just say it was a crap ton of people. And there's mass layoffs. Now, Elon Musk could potentially do the exact same thing. I think there's a lot of people that aren't working, is what I think. Why? Because the government's too big. There ain't that much going on. And if there's things going on, it's like them studying if your dog is gay or not. That's a real thing, by the way. That is a real thing. People are wasting millions of our dollars to study if dogs are gay. You want to know why it pisses me off? Because we have veterans that sat there and sacrificed for our freedoms. How about we just give them that $1 million? I have no problem. Again, I always say that you're talking to a stingy MFer, man. I am cheap. I have the same cup. You guys always see it. You might say, "Well, Brad, you should have more of your own merch." That is true. I dropped it one morning. I always share that. There's like an actual chip in my mug. The same hat. This is not a plug to give me donate money. It's not what I'm saying this. Why I'm saying it is because if I'm cheap, I don't want the government at a federal level just to go spend our money fucking like an idiot. Go send it to those guys and gals. You know what I mean? They need help with their medical bills. Can we start funding the VA again? Can we start taking care of that? You know what I mean? Like, why are we sitting there, all these sciences? Oh, let's study the see if the dogs are gay. Let's see if my dog is part of the non-binary community. Is he non-binary? Ralphie, are you non-binary? Like, really? We're going to spend $22 million on that crap? When you got a guy and gal over here that's struggling because they got sent off to war because some bureaucrat or politician in Washington, D.C. has his head up as, you know what? Maybe send it to them. That'd be nice. Washington is still operating as if it's March 2020. Just 3% of the federal workforce teleworked daily. Whoa! Did I read that right? Just 3% of the federal workforce teleworked daily prior to COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, that makes sense. Today, I was like, only 3% now? Like, what? My heart dropped. Today, 6% of workers report in person on a full-time basis, while nearly 1/3 are entirely remote. That's pretty bonkers, man. 33% of the workforce is just fully remote. Government office buildings have an occupancy. You know, I wonder, 6%, while nearly 1/3 entirely remote. Interesting. Okay, that answered my question. I was going to say, because I know people that work for the government that go into the office like once or twice a week, but they do pretty much everything at home, which I'm not fully against. I just want to be clear here. I'm not fully against this. I kind of like the fact of the remote working, to be honest. The reason why I like it is people are able to sit there with their kids, you know, and they could step away for a moment, take care of them. So I'm a big believer that I think parents should be with their kids as much as possible, especially nowadays where you have this whole idea of the internet, the iPad kids, the entertainment industry. You know, it's easy to send our kids to, hey, go watch TV for a bit. Leave me the hell alone. I'm tired. Or, hey, get them on an iPad and play video games. But when you're talking to somebody in the education system and I'm seeing what it's doing to these kids, man, whenever I become a parent, you bet your ass, no way in hell am I giving my kid an iPad or a cell phone till like later on. I've seen the destruction that it's done. And plug your ears, kids. It's fucked. It is messed up what people are doing to their kids by giving them iPads or allowing them to just be on social media. Yo, it is not a good thing, man. And I want parents, and I think parents should be with their children as much as possible so that it's not some nut job on the internet that's basically inculcating wrong values in your child, that you're the actual person that's raising your child. And what you're seeing nowadays is the internet, these celebrities, these guys that are rapping about being gangsters and freaking hooking up with chicks and getting them pregnant and leaving them and think it's funny and all this other stuff. That's who's raising your kids, not you. And I think that we as the adults now need to sit there and start taking action. Is it sometimes fun to sit there when you're tired as hell, having to sit there and deal with the shenanigans? Probably not. Again, I don't have kids, but I also work with 180 of them every single day. And, well, like I said, I've seen the destruction. It's terrible. It's really sad, man. An entire generation's gone. Nobody talks about it enough. I'm serious that you guys, I don't think you realize, and you listen to somebody that's in it. You know what I mean? Like if you heard a guy, this is a terrible comparison, but it's just an example. If you heard about a guy that sat there and was on the fucking front line, stormed the beaches of Normandy and told you how the shit was, you would listen to him. You know what I mean? I am just giving that as a comparison. Okay. I'm not saying education's like war, and that's not what I'm saying. It's just merely I'm saying you would listen to that guy. Anybody that has a story of what they've been through. I am telling you, as somebody that's on the front lines, it is insane what I am seeing. I've worked in a ton of different school districts. It's all the same. I have friends in Nevada. I have friends in Florida. I have people that watch the Patriot podcast. The Patriots in the chat watch the podcast. Patriot podcast is another podcast. I got a friend up in New York, all dealing with the same stuff. And it's bad. And when I say you lost an entire generation, wait for it. Give it about 5 years. And when you start hiring, let me know. Let me know how that works out for you. It's nuts. So anyways, let's finish this off here. Government office building had an occupancy rate of 12%, yet the government spends $16 billion a year. There you go. I told you. $16 billion a year to operate them. Save $16 billion. Go ahead, take that money. Bada bing, bada boom. Either put it back in the pockets of the American citizens and not tax us as much, or, sit there and put it to good use, like maybe taking, again, care of our veterans or, something else. Even the head of the State of General Service Administration, which manages the federal real estate, works from home in Missouri. So they're not showing up. They're not working. So if they're not showing up, not working, then we don't need them, right? I mean, if you're not doing anything, then why even have it in the first place? Let's read a little bit of the chats here. I always say that money that it's going to illegals and nonsense studies should be given to our veterans. There you go. Or homeless. Love that, CC. I work 1.5 days at the office and the rest at home. Yeah, I'm not against, I want to be clear. I'm not against remote working whatsoever. It's the people that are in federal government that are working remotely that aren't doing anything is the problem. Terry says, I 100% agree, Brad. There are no phones, iPads to be at my house. Love that. I wish I could deliver my mail route from home. Yeah, Brian, I bet. Brian, am I in your ear while you're working? You put in headphones and I'm in your ear while you're sitting there delivering? Brian's legs must be huge, by the way. If Brian's delivering mail, that man's legs must be ginormous. He's just ripped. Pet peeve, dinner and everyone is on their phone. It's just sad. There was a video. I'm going to head over to Rumble and see what they're saying in a second. There's a video of a guy on a date. And no joke, he's on his iPad in front of the girl that he's dating. iPad kid. That's what we call him. Let's see. We got Jeremy. Yes, if they are working, but all of them are on the beach like Joe. Yes, if they are working, up same thing. Plus, these people getting way overpaid to sit on the beach. Correct. I taught my son how to cyberbully liptards and commies and ATF agents. Jeez, Dave. Dave, don't do that. I push the raise or receive at 16 billion if you can. All righty. Let's look at this one. So you saw the thumbnail. The thumbnail had Anthony Fauci and good old Joey in it. Well, this is what's going on here at the Hill. Green alleges, meaning Marjorie Taylor Greene, alleges that Fauci committed crimes against humanity. She's not the only person who has said this. I also saw that there was a trending news that Fauci might be investigated, prosecuted, whatever you want to call it, for this. And that was one of the reasons why yesterday we sat there and said, hey, you know what? He might be pardoned. Anthony Fauci might be pardoned by Joe Biden, along with, who was it? Adam Schiff. And then you also had Cheney in there. And there's a few other sprinklings of politicians and people that were involved, not just with January 6th, but COVID-19. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens within the next month here, because really, I mean, you got January 6th. I mean, January 20th when Donald Trump's elected, but I mean, another month would be January 6th. It's pretty much done by then. Eric Birch with the $5. There he is. Good morning, Patriot. FedEx sucks this time of year. Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything else to add to that. Thank you so much, sir, for the $5. You're always coming in hot in the mornings. I love it. Now, we got to comment on this. FedEx sucks, because they do. I mean, who else? I love the aspect that you guys use the donation fund to sit there and air your grievances. I love it. I love it. Hey, if I'm able to rant, I think it's right that you guys get to rant as well. It just takes a little bit of moolah, like $1, $2. I don't know how it works, but you guys think I should know how it works. I'm the one that runs it, but I don't know how it works. But yeah, FedEx sucks. You're correct. All right. So we have Marjorie Taylor Greene here, speaking at a Turning Point Action conference on Saturday, vowed to have former director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Anthony Fauci, sent to prison over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Fauci, Ouchie Fauci is what we call him, should be tried for crimes against humanity, Greene said at the conference. And then everybody started chanting, lock him up, put him up, put him behind bars. She responded, well, I can assure that if I have anything to do with it, I will lock him up. He belongs in prison. Greene also attacked President Biden and former Speaker Nancy Pelosi during her speech. I never forgot and forget when the Biden administration, Nancy Pelosi, as Speaker of the House, brought in nearly 30,000 National Guardsmen and turned our Capitol complex into a military base. I remember that. They sat there and put, can you believe it? Walls around the Capitol. Y'all remember that? Walls around the Capitol. And then they said that walls don't work. And Nancy, trying to keep her dentures in and her face from melting off, go, Donald, we can't afford a wall. Donald, let's try to keep her dentures in. Donald, we don't have the money. Donald, they're called fences. They're not called walls. And Trump's like, Nancy, I don't care what you call it, a fence, a wall, a brick. I don't care what you call it, straw house. I need that wall. I want that wall. Remember that? Eric says, I'm ranting because I'm grieving because I deliver for FedEx. Oh, God. Yeah, dude. Hey, can we give a shout out to Eric for this time of year? Shit, dude. Yeah. Him and Brian, man, delivering those packages. Everyone's laughing. Hey, you know what? We feel your pain. So what I need everybody to do is start buying through FedEx right now. Oh, God, that's great. Thank you, brother, for the $5, man. Greatly appreciate it. Was it UPS or FedEx that got the raise like in the last year and a half? Somebody got that. What's going on, Kathy? poor Eric, dude. Dude, just now you have to work OT. Sweating. Oh, God. Poor guy. Hang in there, man. Hang in there, dude. Thank you again for the other $5. Appreciate you. Always support, man. Thank you. We got a lot of bills to pay. You guys are helping me. All right. Biden was not president at the time. The Trump administration, at the request of congressional leaders, including Republican leaders, Senator Mitch McConnell and Representative Kevin McCarthy, deployed the National Guard to secure the Capitol after supporters of Trump led an insurrection in the Capitol in an attempt to stop the certification of Biden as president. Oh, stop it. Stop it. There's a few of them. Come on. Green has been accused of helping some of those insurrectionists by providing them with tours before January 6, 2021. Well, oh, come on. That's a leap there. How are you supposed to know? You know who I also saw giving tours was the Capitol Police. You want to also know when it happened, when I saw them getting tours? It was on January 6, 2020, when they're sitting there escorting them around the building. When I said that, that's one of the videos that got taken down off YouTube. And then when I got flagged, I got to be careful talking about January 6th. That's why I was just reading it. I'm not trying to give too much, is because that was when we got our strike on November 14th, and we have yet to recover. Folks, if you saw my graph, and I could share this because most of it's a lot of the Patriots in here. He says, no sweating, it's 20 degrees. It's fucking cold. Teeth are chattering like Nancy's dentures. I'm sorry, brother. I'm like making fun of your pain, but you know, it's all out of love. It's all out of love. What the hell was I talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about. I've had enough coffee this morning. Yeah, November 14th, we got a strike, like the first major strike. Remember I told you like a month ago we're gonna have a channel taken down potentially, which was a real thing. Well, now we have like a strike, and if you get numerous of those, then you get also your channel taken down as well. Like we're being freaking, it feels like we're being attacked. Honestly, that's what it feels like to me. And we haven't recovered. Our numbers went a vertical spike down, and then ever since then, almost a month straight, they've been like this. It's crazy. Folks, we have shorts that have 7 million views, 5 million views, in the millions, multiple shorts, or in like the hundreds of thousands. Right now, we're getting videos that have like 25 views in 24 hours. I mean, we're hit that hard. Yeah, we were getting like 50 to 100 subscribers at one point a day. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's 5, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, I want you to see like the damage that it really did to us over there on YouTube. Fucking commies, man. Again, I don't want people to think, oh, wow, you're complaining because you got subscribers. Some people don't get any. That's not what I'm just merely explaining the fact of what happened and that it's crazy that we're being hit that hard. I've always said, I never even thought I'd be at this point. Okay. I would be stoked if I was still at 100. I remember celebrating when I had 100 subscribers or 100 viewers. I made a cake. Yeah. So I'm stoked with just who we got. So don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I'm happy with the Patriots that decide to join us now. That's what I care about. All of you great people. Brad is happy guy this morning. I'm always happy. I mean, it's Friday, dude. And I'm celebrating. Well, it's not my anniversary of marriage, but it is. We're going to celebrate it today. So we're going to go out to dinner tonight. I get to finally eat. I'm not being fed. I'm not being fed right. I finally get to eat something. Thank you, CC. Yes, hit that like button. Yeah, so we're gonna go out to dinner tonight, which is nice. We don't go out to dinner too often. I told you, I'm cheap. I follow Dave Ramsey. You guys want to know a crazy stat? Does anybody know? Here, again, you guys, if you're just joining us and you're not new to the show, Fridays we just kind of hang out. It's more of like a talkative podcast, hang out with the Patriots and go over some news. We went over the fact that Anthony Fauci should be tried for crimes against humanity. There's some truth to that. We're about to head into the CEO being murdered from United Health. So we'll cover that in just one moment. But I want to ask you, do you guys know the average amount of money that the budgeted amount of money that an average millionaire, I'm not a millionaire, by the way, average, if I was, I wouldn't be asking for donations. The average millionaire spends on restaurants a month, like how much they budget in that category. So again, how much do millionaires budget on average for restaurants a month? Is it like 5,000, 3,000, 4,000? And why you throw in the number, this comes from Chris Hogan's book, Everyday Millionaire. And it was the second largest study that's ever been done on millionaires, of 10,000 of them. So that's where this number is going to come from. Wow. What the hell? You guys are actually pretty damn close. Wow. Okay. See, I tell people all the time, my chat is like intellectuals. I really do mean that. You know how often people are not even remotely close to the numbers that you guys are giving? Now, there's a handful of you over at Rumble. I don't know. Happy Eric, Jesus. Eric, is FedEx paying good? Because maybe I should start working over there. Thank you so much. He said, happy anniversary. Thank you. $10. It is tomorrow. It is tomorrow. December 7th. My grandfather was actually in Pearl Harbor, believe it or not. He was on the USS Reed, one of the 2 ships that actually got out. And I have his picture of his journal page from that day of talking about how he couldn't swing the machine guns over and the 5-inch, I think it was the 5-inch guns for, he said, for fear of hitting their own ships because they were tied up right next to each other. Pretty remarkable stuff. But thank you so much for the happy anniversary, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. We got 8K if they have a budget. So CC, I don't want to call anybody out, but CC says 8K. CC, you're very wrong. Brian 100. You have Mizzy 250. Dave says 500. Miriam says 300. And Krager's with Eric. And what did Eric say? Am I missing Eric? Am I missing Eric? Why is Eric not showing up? Oh, maybe he's saying Eric with the happy anniversary. Thank you. That's what I'm guessing. All right, so it's 200. So nice job, guys. Nice job. That's 200. It's pretty damn good. I don't even know where I was going with that at this point. Anyways, that's why I love Fridays, man. I get to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't have to like think. Oh God, Eric Birch, please put my package on my front deck, please. Holy crap, Terry. Oh, God, we have the best family here. That's what it feels like right now. You know when you're at a family function and you're all sitting there and you're having drinks with one another and that one guy, in this case, Eric's like, fuck, man, it's a rough time of year for me. And the guy's just sitting there drinking his spiked eggnog, just trying to get through the evening because he knows he has to go to work in the morning and deliver more packages while everybody else gets to sleep in. And Terry comes up to family member and goes, just fucks with him. It just goes, hey, Eric, can you make sure that package is on my front desk, please? I mean, both will end up laughing at it, right? Because, you know, it's kind of like hanging out with the boys. You know, you can joke around with each other. That's our type of humor. I love it. That's our community. I see Eric laughed. All right, good. Thank God. It's like it's like sipping, you know. Is he laughing? Fuck. That's fucking great. This is why I love it. God, we have the best, man. I say that all the time, but really I do mean it. God, you guys are so much fun. All right, well, let's continue. United Healthcare CEO murdered. Investigators start small focus on family and search for motive. I was hearing some crazy conspiracy theories. I haven't done a deep dive into this yet, and I want to. So, tragic. We did cover it slightly yesterday. Just tragic. This guy's going, the CEO, he's like 50 years old. Young guy, actually, honestly, pretty handsome. Going into either a work meeting or a work function. I think he was going to give a speech or something like that. And gets gunned down from behind. The coward couldn't even, and not that you should do this, I'm just saying, who the hell shoots somebody from behind? Like, what kind of little bitch are you to sit there and shoot some guy in the back? Shoot him at all is insane. But I'm just saying, like, you're going to do it and you're going to shoot the guy in the back, you freaking coward, and then you run off like a little bitch with your face covered. You know the guy's a lefty. You know he's a lefty. If he's a Republican or conservative, get the hell out of our party. One, for even just doing anything like that, because it's not a conservative or Republican value. Quite frankly, it's no value at all other than freaking pure evil. But you know what I mean. And I'm hearing that there was like gun casings left behind, and that when you racked it, it didn't make sense for him. I guess he had a suppressor on it, allegedly. I'm trying to like piece this together. And I guess when he was trying to rack it, it wouldn't rack. And so people were saying, well, that's why the shell casings were left behind. But then there was like coded messages on the shell casing that was from some sort of insurance book. So I don't know. Oh, there you go. Little Onion says, I love it here. Hey, well, we love having you here. And I really do mean that. We love having you here. All right, well, let's break this down. So there's some crazy stuff going on with this assassination. So after United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was murdered, and God may rest his soul, man, that's terrible. In Manhattan, a manhunt gripped the city. NYPD likely employed a multi-pronged strategy in their efforts to find the killer and his motive, former law enforcement officers told Fox News Digital. In an ambush caught on surveillance video, a gunman dressed in a head-to-toe black and covering his face aimed a pistol, there you go, with a silencer at Thompson at 6:46 a.m. Wednesday outside of Midtown Hilton Hotel and shot the executive 3 times. That's interesting because if there's 3 casings and allegedly each one of them had a word on it, let's see. So among the clues investigators were sifting through were a phone dropped in the alley that the shooter used to flee the scene, which the NYPD pulled fingerprints from and was scouring for data, a water bottle left at a Starbucks near the scene of the murder, which the suspect paid for in cash. There you go. The words deny, dispose, and defend left behind on shell casings at the scene. That's interesting right there. And images showing the full face of a person of interest in the case at a hostel in Manhattan's Upper West Side. Now, I've been told that these lead to an insurance book. I don't know what the insurance book is about. Like I said, I'll try to do a deep dive for you guys over the weekend and maybe have this be the Saturday or Sunday episode that might come out. I guess sources are saying that the killer used a fake ID and paid for a room in cash the night before the shooting. Some people are like, oh, this guy's a hitman. Like he is, what's the word? Like, oh, he's an expert, he's a professional at doing this. I was trying to listen to a little bit of what Dan was saying, Dan Bongino, and he was saying he doesn't think that's the case. And the reason why I want to listen to Dan, right? He's Secret Service, former Secret Service. He was also an NYPD officer for a little bit. Like the guy knows about this type of stuff. So I always try to seek out people that know more crap than I do about things. And, well, he says he doesn't think this is a professional like hitman, but we could be wrong. So there's that nut job smiling. Several former law enforcement officers told Fox News Digital that they were confident the assassin would be caught considering the evidence he left behind. Now, here's what I find interesting. I think he left this behind on purpose. If he's paying cash, then I don't see that part doesn't make sense. If he's paying cash, it would give the idea that he doesn't want to be caught, but then you left your phone with your fingerprints on it. So either he's just a big idiot or I don't know. Something don't make sense. I don't even know why I'm trying to rationalize this guy's behavior. So I'm not a psycho. Law enforcement is obviously in a reactive state about this, but the public should take confidence in this one. The NYPD has some of the most highly skilled investigators and some of the best technology in the world, and they have the manpower to dedicate. I hope they find him. I mean, that's a pretty clear image of the guy. And a chiseled jaw, seems like pretty straight teeth, a nose. I mean, you can make something out of that. You probably could tell, oh, I know who that is. The jacket, everything. You could bet that we've got multiple people looking at multiple angles at this time, he said. You've got multiple people focused on finding the individual. There are multiple simultaneous missions going on as we speak. So currently, retired FBI Scott Duffy said that NYPD has a team scouring for more surveillance footage of the perpetrator that might offer more clues. I mean, they got cameras all over the city. They've trained to know where to look and technology to be able to work with a business or a home with a doorbell camera or security footage to get that footage off whatever cloud or hardware that they've had to and get it back to the police department. So I hope they find this guy. I hope he's locked up for life, buried 6 feet under a prison when he's said and done, dead. And, may God judge him appropriately. I'm tracking what Tyrus said on the Fox 5. I'm assuming he has qualified insight. Well, Brian, throw that in the chat really quick. What do you mean? What you're following him? Oh, Brian's saying professional hitman. Really? Okay. Brian says professional. I'm sure he's getting that from, I'm assuming Tyrus, but throw in the chat, Brian, what you're talking about. And I'll try to read it. What I want to throw up is this. I don't know if you guys saw this. So task force on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump had a hearing. This was 21 hours ago that this took place. And I guess this dude here and this dude here, which should all be familiar to you because I think this is the acting Secret Service director. And this guy honestly should be fired because he was also part of the Secret Service when this all went down. By the end of the clip here, start yelling at each other. But I want to know what happens before that because I want to get more details of what the hell took place. Let's roll it.
Mr. Rowe, would you agree that the protection that President Trump was provided on the 13th of July was wholly and tragically negligent. The site plan was abysmal to the point of derelict. And on the 13th of July in Butler, Pennsylvania, the United States Secret Service not only failed President Trump, but Corey Comparatori and the American people in historic fashion.
I would.
In the months leading up to July 13th, who was the director of the Secret Service?
Kimberly Cheatham.
Okay. Other than former Director Cheadle, who was the most senior Secret Service agent?
In the agency? That would be me. I was the
Correct.
deputy director.
In the months leading up to the July of 24, were you made aware of highly credible intelligence that a serious and grave threat to President Trump's life from an adversarial nation state? There was a very serious threat.
In this open setting, Congressman, I can't discuss what I was or was not aware of.
Well, the former Director Cheadle said she was aware. So I would imagine, by extension, you were aware. You said in open session that.
I would point to Director Cheadle's.
All right, so you were aware. So we have a unique circumstance here because we had a former president of the United States who is the leading candidate at that time to be the next president of the United States, and he will be now that we know. And he was being threatened by a foreign nefarious nation state because of actions he took while he was president of the United States. Very unique circumstances. So being that you were aware of these unique circumstances, did President Trump, was he provided a security detail akin to what a sitting president would receive?
At that time, he was not.
He was not. Would you agree that if there was a counter-surveillance unit there in Butler on the 13th, he would have been safer?
I think if there was a counter-surveillance unit advanced that was on the ground, it could have aided the advance team in identifying the AGI.
So he would have been safer? President Trump
Yes.
would have been safer? Yeah, okay. I don't think this would have even occurred, but be that as it may, did the president's detail request a CSU, to your knowledge?
I'm not aware of a request for CSU.
Now, was the threat from the nefarious nation state disseminated to agents in the field and in the protective details?
I'm just pausing, Congressman, because I'm trying to walk a tightrope here in an open setting. What I can tell you is that the Secret Service provided assets on that day for a particular.
What I can tell you, sir, is that the folks that are whistleblowing and informing some members of Congress say that they were not aware of this threat. And that's what I'm getting at with being proactive and showing leadership is we know for a fact that there was no CSU in Butler. Was there a full CAT team there?
There was not.
No. A full CAT team, 6 members, and there were 2 there. So you knew of the threat. You didn't disseminate to the field and the protective details. You didn't. President Trump didn't have a protection that was akin to a sitting president. He didn't have the CSU. He had only the third of the CAT team. So that's that kind of ineptitude and inaction and complacency and the neglect that really, quite frankly, is as telling as it is chilling. And had it not been for a very blessed, fortuitous and a happenstance of a perfectly timed turn of a head, President Trump would have lost his life that day. Now, this is another thing that concerns me. We report to our constituents, and instead of really after this happened, did you go the next day to Butler, Pennsylvania on the 14th of July?
I did not.
Okay. Did you go that week?
I did not.
Okay. The FBI held that site secure for 5 days as an active crime scene, and they released it back to the owners on the 18th, and you did not visit. And when did you finally visit the site?
I visited about a day after I was appointed.
So July 24th? Cheadle came in July 22nd. She got skewered and roasted by the Democrats and Republicans on the Oversight Committee, of which I sit on. She resigned the next day, and then only that day did you go.
I'll take your word for it, Congressman.
Why'd you wait 9 days? 11 days?
Why did I wait 9 days?
Yeah. Director of the FBI went to the site. Why didn't you go?
Congressman, I think I was appointed July 23rd, and I was there on the 24th or 25th.
But you were the second most senior member of the Secret Service. You could have gone.
And I was managing from here the crisis. We actually
Okay, so you didn't go.
dispatched.
Got it. Did you call the, you were managing the crisis you just said. Did you call the detail that night on July 13th that was protecting President Trump?
On that night, they were operational, sir.
You did not. Okay. Did you call him the next day?
No, I did not.
Okay. When did you finally talk to him?
I spoke to them when they arrived in Milwaukee.
So 4 days later, July 17th, does that sound about right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you waited 4 days, and when we were talking earlier, a couple months ago, this is an epic failure. We all agree on that. And instead of really focusing on the egregious errors and correcting the incompetence and improving the doctrine and changing the culture, there was a massive appropriations request. We know that you have 8,000 employees. We know that they have a $3.1 billion budget, and you asked for $2 billion additional dollars. What sticks in our craw is when we report to our constituents, we have to say, hey, this federal agency failed epically, and then they wanted to almost double their budget. How much would it have cost to put somebody on that water tower? How much would it have cost to have drones that were actually functioning that day? How much would it have been able to where your anti-drone technology would have worked? How much would it have cost to...
I just want to be clear, that's their video, it's not mine. That must, because they live stream this, I'm sure it just kind of, that's where the recording came from, so I'm sure that's why it's all messed up, not me.
A walkthrough with local law enforcement to secure the AGR site, or put cameras on that roof, or put agents on that roof, or have your snipers have iPads, or have one command post instead of two, or cordon off the damn AGR complex, 17 acres. That wouldn't have cost $2 billion. And in fact, with caution tape, signs, posts, and stakes, it would have run about $410 because we ran through it. Let's add another zero. Say it's $4 grand. It's not $2 billion. So I got another question for you. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Here we go.
Is that the remembrance of September 11th?
It was.
Was it in New York?
It was at Ground Zero.
Okay. Who's usually at an event like this closest to the President of the United States, security-wise?
The SAC of the detail.
Special agent in charge of the detail. Were you the special agent in charge of the detail that day?
Actually, let me address this. Could you please, staff, leave that? Oh, no, leave that one up with the circle around me. Thank you. Actually, Congressman, what you're not seeing is the SAC of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that.
I'm asking you, Congressman.
Were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret Service member that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you were trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
And you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question.
Please.
You are
Order.
out of line, Congressman.
Don't try
Way
to
out of
bully
line.
me. I am an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you are
I
playing
am a
politics.
public servant who has served this nation and
You
spent
won't answer
time
the question.
on our day, on our country's darkest
Mr.
day.
Chairman,
Committee
you
will
not
come
answer-
Do
to
not
order.
politicize it.
Committee will come to order.
I'm asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that
No,
day?
I wasn't. I was there
Oh, no,
representing
Mr.
the
Chairman,
United
I'm
States
just
Secret
asking you yes or
Service,
no.
sir.
Mr. Fallon, your
and
time's
did not
expired.
affect protective
Fallon,
You know
operations.
why you were
Time's
there?
expired.
Because you wanted to be visible, because you are auditioning for this
I was
job
there to
that
pay
you're not gonna
respect for a
get
fallen
till
member of
January
this
20th.
agency.
You endangered
You are
President
out of
Biden's
line,
life,
Congressman.
Vice
You
President
are out of
Harris's
line.
life, because you put those agents out of position.
Mr.
Did you have a
Chairman.
radio with
Mr.
you?
Fallon,
Did
your
you wear a
time
vest?
has
Did you have a
expired.
weapon?
Mr.
No.
I did, sir, and you are out of line.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
please.
I just love that. That last little bit. He just get fucking job. Yes, sir.
We are back
You're
in
a
order
bully.
now. We're back in order now.
Thank you.
Mr. Moskowitz, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Well, now that we got that settled. Yeah, he got emotional. He got called out. Correct. He did get called out. We're not going to find. Folks, isn't it crazy? I can't even remember. When were we live streaming that? We were all here together as a community watching that assassination attempt live. Like, there's not many people, you guys, that were streaming that Donald Trump rally. I don't know why, but we were one of the few that were streaming that live, and we caught that bleep live. How is it from then till now? I don't know anything still. Does anybody in the chat? We have hundreds of people watching this across all platforms. What's going on, Q? I got your email, Q1969. I did get your email. I do not have a P.O. box. I'm sorry, brother, but I'll still respond to you via email. I just want to let you know I did read it this morning. How do we not know anything? Does anybody know anything about anything on that assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania? It's frustrating, man. It's really frustrating, dude. How the hell do we not know? Crazy. Really bonkers stuff, man. Really bonkers stuff. Here's some other bonkers stuff. There's an illegal immigrant that's complaining about the fact that I guess they didn't get any help or food or anything like this. Check this out.
They give you 3 meals a day, a place to sleep. Like, what did they give you in the shelter? What were the resources?
La comida y el cuarto, más nada.
Food, 3 meals a day?
3 comidas al día.
Sí, pero yo no comía esas comidas porque eso era comida congelada.
Ahí nadie se comía esa
comida porque eran comida congelada.
Nobody ate
Y ahí no había trabajadora social. En esos chetes de allá de Queen no hay.
There were no social workers in
Por eso
Queens
fue que
shelter.
uno salió a los 6 meses.
That's why they
Nada
left.
hacíamos allá porque todo es un protocolo.
No pude sacar los papeles nunca.
No
Yo estoy
pudimos
haciendo
sacar
mis
los
trámites
papeles
por pago.
porque todo allá era de 7 a 10 de la noche.
Why do you need social workers at the shelter?
Para los papeles.
So for 6 months, were you working during those 6 months at the shelter?
Estadía en el shelter. No, they weren't.
No tuve ninguna ayuda en ese chete, en realidad ninguna. Solamente un techo donde dormir y ya, porque ni la comida.
It certainly felt odd to hear that she got no help besides a roof and food when there are homeless Americans who can't get those same resources.
Correct. They're complaining about getting a meal and shelter. They're complaining. Oh, well, it was frozen, so I didn't eat it. So fucking heat it up. There's people that live in dorm rooms in colleges that eat frozen meals. They're sitting there putting over a hot plate. I'm going to lose it, man. I'm going to lose it. Did you see that? Look at this. Hold on. I want to make sure I get it perfect. Where are we at here? You see what she's holding? Do you see what she's holding right there? Folks, it's like depending on when you got it, that's at least a couple $100 at least. Nice multiple jackets, layers of clothes, clearly clean. I'm bringing this up for a reason, I promise. Look at everything this person has, right? And then you're going to this other person, backpack, clearly nice. I want to point out both these people have nicer clothes than I do. I just want to point that out. And I mean that all hand to God. My glasses aren't even as nice as this, my sunglasses. Hat on, nicer hat than I'm wearing probably, right? Now, you have these people, illegal immigrants, given 3 meals a day, full shelter on taxpayer dimes, right? I just want to go down here, okay, at the end, and I'm going to move my big old head out of the way. God, what do you see right there sitting on the ground? Right here. Dirty as hell, cardboard box, sitting on whatever the hell that is. And this could be a veteran, by the way, for all I know. And cold. I don't see him having 3 meals a day and shelter. Maybe he does, for all I know. I'm sure they have shelter services there. And this could just be one of the individuals homeless that didn't want to seek out shelter. There's some like that. But it's just astonishing to me. If you saw these people walking by you, would you ever, hand to God, think that these are people that are illegal and said, unquote, homeless, if that's what you want to call it? Oh, well, we didn't get any help. I'm staying calm. Before there was the welfare state, and this is when we had massive amount of immigration, by the way, to this country. So you're talking early on. Before, again, we had a welfare state. So it tells you how early on in our history we're doing this. That was part of the agreement, that you were going to sit there and leave everything from your home country. And you are going to take the biggest gamble of your life to immigrate to America and assimilate to its creed, to its values, because you left that place that wasn't as good for a place that was better, from the cultural aspect to the ideas it holds to the freedoms and liberties it provides. And you weren't given anything when you came here. But what you were given was opportunity. Opportunities come in different ways, different facets. And you had to work your way up, learn the language, buckle down. And you know what? You might have even had to sacrifice the generation of which you were so that your future generations could be uplifted. And that was a sacrifice that people made. When they came here, the expectation was they got fucking nothing. Now the expectation is you come here, I want everything. I want laundry services. I want full bedding, housing. I want a fucking maid and butler to serve me food. I don't want the frozen food. I want full shelter. I want those veterans that fought in Afghanistan and Iraq. I want them to get the hell out so that I have a place to sleep because I deserve it, because I'm an immigrant here, whether it's legal or not. I deserve this stuff. I deserve my kid to have full public paid education. I deserve to go to college for free. I deserve to have this handout and this. It was not the case. And all of a sudden it is. You're damn right I'm getting ramped up. It's bullshit. Tired of this crap. Got a fucking American sitting on the ground in freaking the cold ass weather and nobody's helping them. We had this lady's bitching, moaning, complaining she gets a fucking 3-course meal in a hotel. They didn't fucking help us. You got help, bitch. God damn, that pisses me off, man. Could be shitting me. I didn't get any help. Does that not piss anybody else off around here? Talk about ungrateful, man. I mean, you even have the balls to be on camera there on a fucking iPhone that's hundreds of dollars of who the hell knows who's paying for that in nice clothes, and you're going to complain. Are you kidding me right now? Well, that didn't piss you off, this will. And you know what? I did call her the B word because that was a little bitchy of somebody to sit there and say, oh, we weren't getting much help and all these other things. Yeah, it is bitchy. What else would you call it? Am I supposed to be polite? Nobody's asking me to be polite, by the way, but I know there's people that watch this like, oh, that's not professional of you to say that. I don't care. That person's siphoning money from people that actually need it. She has nicer clothes than probably some of us even wear, including myself. Some of us don't even have iPhones. Some of us can't afford it, and she's sitting there holding one. You shouldn't have called her bitch. Well, don't get me going. Well, we have this here. Now, allegedly, this is what it says. Let's show you allegedly. Multiple homes burglarized by South American gangs in the last week in Michigan suburbs. So if you're in Michigan, this happened to you,
happening in her city. Trained criminal gangs from Chile, Colombia, and Venezuela are using visa waiver programs or are entering illegally to use high tech like alarm system jammers, drones, and tracking devices to steal things like cash and high-end jewelry from our communities.
Do we know if Michigan is getting hit any more than some of these other states, or are we?
Well, Michigan's certainly in the high numbers, especially Oakland County.
Sheriff Bouchard says we've seen this all before, including right around this time last year. But the number of these incidents just within the last week have been alarming. Oakland Township, Novi, Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield Township, and now Rochester Hills as well, all getting hit recently.
Initially, I thought Oakland Township, $1 million homes, that was where they were hitting. And so it was like it wasn't for us. But at the same time, that's not the case any longer.
They're back with a vengeance. Obviously different crews because some of those crews are still in jail.
Some of these crews are in jail because the county established a task force last year specifically looking into these gangs, working with local and national agencies. But there are hundreds of these groups that get in Oakland County just as quickly as they are out.
What makes these guys tough to catch?
Because they're so transient and they have no ties to the area. They'll come in, they work it for a bit, and then they move on to another city or state.
You know what? Somebody made a great point here. I saw Pew Pew. It's Q1969 made a great point. Yeah, Pew Pew. Here's the thing, though, right? In some states like mine, if you did something like that, if you shot somebody down, yeah, I'm going to prison. They're not for stealing, right? Maybe even throwing me at gunpoint, maybe even shooting at me. I'm going to jail. They're not, and their families will sue me, and then my life is ruined, right? All my assets are taken away, right? My bank account is siphoned out of, all that stuff. I agree, it should be pew pew, because when you sit there and allow businesses to sit there and protect themselves and their property rightfully, I think a lot of this would stop. If you knew that you had full-fledged, just, hey, you're going to steal some shit and start firing at somebody, I don't care if it's a pack of gum. You probably shouldn't be stealing. I get you. I'm telling you, people would change their tune really quick. In the same way here, it's because they know that people aren't going to sit there and shoot at them anymore, because everybody knows that lawsuit's going to happen. Check that. A guy comes here basically illegal. They say illegal because he went through the visa program. That's bullshit from the Biden-Harris administration. And sits there and stealing your stuff, breaking into your house. Who knows what else is going on once they enter the home. And you're the one that's getting the lawsuit against you. So now that guy gets all that stuff and nothing happens to him. Oh, he deserves it. He's here. Reparations, whatever the hell it may be. And you're the one that gets thrown in the brig. Should be that way. Should be pew pew. Telling you what, more pew pew, less QQ. But Democrats allowed this to happen. And this is one of the reasons why Donald Trump won. And this is one of the reasons why there's going to be a lot of flights going to different countries starting soon. And I want full military, man. I don't care what the hell. If we need extra planes, start hopping people onto cargo planes. I don't care what it is, because this nut job right here is the one that caused it. This guy right here. The craziest comb over I've ever seen in my life. Look at that thing. What'd Said say? I'm from Peru. Took me 5 years to get my citizenship. I am married with a wonderful American patriot. I'm a physician who lives this country, but I think he meant loves this country. Damn right, sir. Look at that. See, the guy does it right. He comes in, marries a great woman, patriot, cares about this country. He's a physician. Thank you. Did you notice that we're not going, oh, what are you doing here? The guy came legal. He's an American. Look, I get that you're from Peru. Don't really care. The reason why I bring that up, the Peru aspect, is because you're an American. You're not Peruvian American. You're not, how we go, African American, English American, No, you're American. I don't like people putting that stuff in front. Oh, I'm Mexican American. Oh, I'm Italian American. No. You are here because you knew it was better. So if you want to go American Italian, that's fine with me, but American comes first. I don't want anything coming before this country. My father was an immigrant. You don't hear me go, well, I'm English American. I'm Native American, because my family is I have a cousin named Redbird. That's how close. And you would look at me, you wouldn't even think I'm Native American, but I got cousins that have crazy ass Indian names like Redbird. But, it's just, I think I'm making sense. I think I got a little heated there when that lady pissed me off about the freaking, I'm not getting the services. She even had an entitled, never mind, it's gonna get me going. All right, well, that's today's episode. Friday's supposed to be all calm and chill. Like, okay, man. And I think Dizzy said it right. Tell your critics to tune out and go watch The View. I said it perfect, my friend. Damn right. Michael Duran, thank you so much for giving me the thumbs up, man. Or at least a thumbs up in the chat. Have the same on a welcome mat. You guys are great. With that being said, folks, hit that like button. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. My goal, I don't want to promise it. My goal, I really wanted to get a Spooky Adventures video out. I really do. I know you guys have been asking for it, and I want to get one out. We do have a second channel called Spooky Adventures, and while we're here, am I able to find my own Spooky Adventures video? Spooky Adventures. Ooh, I don't think I am. I'm too small of a channel on Spooky Adventures for it to populate, but it's there if you find it. We will be live, so not live. We'll record it and upload it. So I'll make sure I try to get that out for you. You guys have been asking for months, and I apologize. And that's my laziness. There's actually I have no excuse. That's just me being lazy, to be honest. So with that being said, I love you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow or Sunday, I will definitely see you Monday here, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of the Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots. God bless you.